You know, it all started with a gift. A simple, stupid gift. It was my 25th birthday. My girlfriend, Sarah, was usually amazing at gifts. She'd get me vinyl records I'd forgotten I wanted, or tickets to see my favorite obscure bands. She was thoughtful. But this year she'd been acting weird, secretive, nervous, almost. We were having a quiet dinner at my place. After the cake, she pulled out a box from under the table. It wasn't wrapped. It was just a plain dark wood box, about the size of a shoebox, but taller. It looked old, really old, like something you'd find in a dusty antique shop or maybe dug up from someone's yard. "Happy birthday, Mark," she whispered, handing it over. Her hands were shaking a little. I took it. It was heavy, much heavier than it looked, and it was cold. Not refrigerator cold, but like something that had been sitting out in the snow. "Wow, what is it?" I asked, trying to sound excited. "Open it," she said, avoiding my eyes. The lid didn't have a latch, just a small, smooth knob. I turned it and lifted the top. Inside, the box was lined with dark red velvet, and sitting right in the middle was a piece of jewelry. It was a locket. Not gold, not silver, but some kind of dark, dull metal. It was shaped like a teardrop, and the whole thing felt wrong. It didn't sparkle. It seemed to absorb the light in the room. "Sarah, it's intense," I said. "It belonged to my grandmother," she mumbled quickly. "She said it brings good luck, long life." I nodded, trying to be polite. I took the locket out. It felt oily, and the chain was brittle. I opened it up. Usually, a locket has space for 2 small pictures. This one just had one deep side, and in that deep side there was no picture, just a small, fine layer of black sand. It smelled like old dust and something metallic like blood. "Look, I love it, but are you sure about this? It looks like it belongs in a museum, not on me." She finally looked up, her eyes wide. "Please, Mark, just wear it. For one night. For me. Please." She was practically begging. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. Okay. One night." I put the locket around my neck. The moment the metal touched my skin, the room went cold again. I felt a quick, sharp pain, like a pinprick, right where the locket rested against my collarbone. "See? It looks great," Sarah said, but her smile was shaky. That night, after she left, I couldn't take my mind off the box. I took the locket off and placed it back inside. I looked at the dark wood again. It was almost black in the dim light. I ran my hand over the side. It was perfectly smooth. Then I noticed something. The inside of the box was bigger than the outside. I know that sounds crazy, but think about it. The box was maybe 10 inches long, 6 inches wide. But when I looked down into it, the velvet lining seemed to curve away into a space that was deeper and wider than the wooden walls allowed. It was like looking into a slightly distorted reflection. I reached my hand in, just to feel the bottom. My fingers touched the velvet lining. I pressed down, expecting to feel solid wood beneath it. But there was no wood. My hand just kept going. I pushed down harder. My wrist was inside the box, then my forearm. The space was still cold, and now it felt strangely empty, hollow. I pulled my arm out fast. I looked at my hand. Nothing. Just cold. I pushed my pen into the box. I let go. It didn't clatter on the bottom. I didn't hear anything at all. It just vanished. I started to panic. I grabbed a flashlight and shone it into the box. The light didn't reflect back. It was swallowed up. The velvet lining just kept going down, 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 until it was nothing but an infinite black pit. It looked like the end of the universe had been crammed into a little wooden box. I slammed the lid shut. I backed away, breathing fast. I thought, this is a trick, a joke. It has a fake bottom. I turned the box over, looking for hinges or seams. There were none. It was one solid piece of dark wood. The bottom was smooth and whole. I had to check. I turned the box right side up again. I grabbed a marble from a nearby vase. I hesitated, then dropped it in. Silence. I put my ear close to the box. I could hear something now. It was a very, very faint sound, like a whisper or a very slow, distant scraping noise. It was coming from the infinite black space inside. I went to my phone to call Sarah. It was late, but I didn't care. Sarah, the box. What is it? What did you give me? I asked, my voice shaking. She didn't answer right away. Then I heard a sound on her end, a gasp like she'd been crying. Mark, I shouldn't have. My grandmother didn't say it brings good luck. She said it opens the way. The way to what, Sarah? Where did my pen go? Where did that marble go? Her voice dropped to a terrified whisper. The locket keeps you safe from the box. As long as you wear the locket, the box can't reach you. But if you take it off, it needs something to be whole. The box is an emptiness, and the emptiness needs a life to fill it up. Sarah, stop it. This isn't funny. I'm calling the police. No, don't open the box again. Just wear the locket. Please, Mark, just wear it. I have to go. I can't talk about it. Just wear it and throw the box into the ocean or something. The line went dead. I tried calling her back. No answer. I looked at the box sitting on my table. I had left the locket beside it. I snatched the locket up and put it back on, not caring about the cold metal. I tried to follow her instructions. I grabbed my jacket, the box, and headed for the door. I had to get this thing out of my apartment. I made it 3 steps when I heard it again. Louder this time. The sound was coming from inside the box. It wasn't the slow scrape anymore. It was a tapping. Tap, tap, tap. It sounded like someone was tapping a fingernail against the inside of the dark wood. I froze. I slowly set the box back down on the table. Then I heard something else. A very, very faint voice. It was distorted, and the sound was tiny, like it was coming from a mile away and through a very old microphone. It sounded like a little girl. She was whispering, and what she whispered was my name. Mark, I'm cold. My heart nearly stopped. I knew it wasn't Sarah playing a trick. That voice was coming from the infinite black pit inside that wooden container. I put my hand over the locket, clutching it like a lucky charm. I had to know. I had to see what was making that sound. Against every sane thought in my head, I reached for the lid. I lifted it maybe an inch. The air that rushed out of the gap wasn't just cold. It was icy. It smelled like wet dirt and old meat, and the tapping stopped instantly. Instead, I heard a wet, deep hiss, like something massive and hungry was breathing. I saw movement down in the blackness, not just the curve of the velvet, but a sudden flash of something white, something that moved fast, like a pale, stretched-out hand that vanished the moment I saw it. I slammed the lid down, my hands trembling so hard I could barely stand. I didn't try to go outside again. I just sat on my couch, the box on the coffee table, wrapped in a thick wool blanket, holding the locket tight. I stayed awake all night, staring at the box. Every now and then I'd hear the faint, scraping sound from inside. And once, just before the sun came up, I heard the little girl's whisper again. but this time it was a little closer. "Mark, open the door." When the sun finally rose, the apartment felt safe again. The box didn't look so dark anymore. I wrapped it in a towel, then in a plastic bag. Then I taped the whole thing up with duct tape, making sure the lid couldn't open an inch. I drove out to an industrial park, found a huge dumpster, and buried the box deep under a pile of heavy construction debris. I never called Sarah again. She didn't call me. I looked up her building a few days later. Her apartment was empty. She was gone. Now it's been 6 months. I still wear the locket. I can't take it off. I don't dare. It feels like my lifeline. But every night when the light goes out, I hear it. Not the whisper anymore. Not the scraping. It's just a slow, gentle creak, like old wood being pushed against, and it's coming from my closet. I know I'll open it one day. I know it's too close. The box, or whatever was inside the box, is here. And it's only a matter of time before it opens the way right here in my apartment. I just hope I have the locket on when it happens. First, smash that like button. We're aiming for 10,000 likes on this story. Can we do it? Next, I need to know, what was your favorite moment? Comment it below. Finally, don't miss out. Subscribe and ring the notification bell so you're the first to know when next week's story drops. Thank you for watching. See you soon.